Alright, man, tell me about your favorite memory with Sarai.
Favorite moment with her. Well, yeah. I remember when my brothers and I were playing. She always wanted to play with us, but she was a girl, so we don't know how to play with dolls or play like how a girl has to play. So we always say no to her because we didn't know how to play with dolls and all the stuff, creating the dolls and you know. But I remember her because when my brothers and I, we always like to wrestle. So she was like, "Oh, can I play with you guys?" And we're like, "Sarai, you're a girl. You can play with us." "Oh, well, as in the SmackDown, there's divas, so I can play with you guys." So, so yeah, I was like, "Okay, Sarai." So I remember that she always grabbed one of the sex underwear, she put it on her face. She was like, "Okay, I'm in your team. I'm in your team," and she was in my team. And we have like so many times where Sarai and I were a team, and we wrestle Hisaki Naun. Yeah, I think that's probably one of my best moments with her.
Did you beat him?
Yeah, we beat him
All the time?
all the time.
She was smart to team up with her oldest brother.
Yeah, Sarai. She was a good diva. She was really good, and I like that moment because she always wanted to play with us, but we were boys,
Yeah.
and she was a girl. So I think that's the moment where she could play with us, and yeah. Another thing is when we play soccer, she was wanted to play soccer with us. So she was really good.
Yeah.
She was the best on her school.
Because she always played with her three brothers. Oh, yeah. What was that? Yeah. Tell me about her time in the hospital. Like, because, I already heard stories about it. Just kind of explain, like, some things that happened.
At first, when I heard that she was sick and she was in the hospital, when I thought that she was gonna be like so depressed and she would be like with a negative mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought she was gonna be sad. But my surprise was that when I went to the hospital, she was happy to see me. She's like, "Oh, brother, thank you for coming with me, and yeah, take a seat." She told me, "Oh, I can't talk too much because the nurse says that I can't." But she was so happy. And she was so happy. She told me, "Oh, I don't have anything. I have no pain. I don't know why I'm here. I just want to go home."
And, your dad was telling us how she was, like, talking to the doctors and the nurses and stuff. Like, what kind of things was she talking to them about?
Yeah. Another thing that she was so shy. She was always shy. But when she was in the hospital, she was talking to everyone, to the nurses. She was like, "Oh, nurse, do you want to be my friend?" "Oh, yeah, but first, if you want to be my friend, let me ask you a question. Do you know God? Have you accepted Him in your heart?" So the nurses were like, "What are you talking about?" And she was like, and Sarai was like, "Yeah, if you want to go to heaven, you have to accept Jesus in your heart." And the nurses were like, "Okay, we will talk about that later. But yeah, I want to be your friend." So she had many friends in the hospital, all the nurses. So every time I went to the hospital and see her, she was like, "Oh, I have a new friend." Yeah, that nurse is my new friend. And yeah, my dad told me that when she was gonna have that surgery, the doctor was all about to do the surgery already. So Sarai asked him if he knows God, and the doctor said, "Well, yeah, I'm Catholic." And then Sarai said, "Oh, but you have to be a Christian to go to heaven." And the doctor said, "How do you know that you have to be a Christian? Because you have to accept Jesus in your heart and just leave all to Jesus and praise Jesus only."
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor said, "Oh well, girl, what are you talking about? What are you talking about this?"
No,
No, gracias.
no.
No, that's just. So she was like, the doctor said, "Oh, girl, you don't know anything about this stuff." And suddenly, she was, "Oh, yes, I know. I know Jesus, and I know He's my Savior. And I know it because my dad is a pastor, and he preaches it through." So the doctor said, "Ah, girl, I'm not gonna fight with you. Here." And he did the surgery, but she asked him, "Oh, do you want to be my friend?" The doctor said, "Oh, yes." So Sarai, she haven't eaten since 3 days that day. So the doctor said, "Okay, Sarai, you're my friend, and I'm gonna buy you a popsicle." Sarai, she was so happy. She told me, "Oh, the doctor bought me a popsicle. He's my friend now. I don't supposed to eat anything, but he said that a popsicle was good for me." And she was so happy. Yeah. And she started doing all those things in the hospital, just sharing about God's love and how what do you need to do to go to heaven. And yeah.
Wow. So the last question I figured I'd ask is, tell me about your final moments with her.
Final moments. Okay, it was Saturday. To remember the date, but yeah, it was a Saturday.
This was right before she went unconscious, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before. Okay, so I went into her room and I talked to her for a moment. I was like, "Oh, girl, how's my sister? Love you, sister." And like, "Oh, look, brother, they gave me a CD player, so a CD player so I can listen to music." I was like, "Oh, yes, sister. Yeah, I want you to give me your songs because I want to hear them. I miss them." Like, okay, sister, I will give you some CDs. And I was like, "Oh, sister, I just gotta go. I only have like a few moments with you because the whole church is outside and they're waiting to come inside and talk to you." Like, and she was like, "Oh, yeah, the whole church is outside." She was so happy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, church is outside and they're waiting for you. Like, and she was like, "Oh, so who's outside?" I was like, "Oh, it's your friend Joy and other friends that she had."
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. So, sister, I love you, and I gotta go. She told me, "Oh, stay more with me." Oh, sister, okay. So I talked to her that she was a good sister, and I love her so much that she was everything to me. That I love her. So I was about to go when she screamed, "Oh, Josue." So to me. I love you, brother. The next day, she was unconscious. But I'll never forget those words.
Mm.
I love you, brother.
Well, thanks for sharing, man.